Yeah, yeah. Well, people are coming and going, so it's just it's extremely busy and extremely let's say people are tired, I think. It's so right. I'm just setting off the live streaming because I do have to. Yeah, well, people are coming and going. Right. Okay. Get rid of that. So I can just pause that. Now I can go into here and 1 and 2 and 3. Okay. Okay. Got it.
I'm sorry, I went out.
No, no, it's all right.
Okay, I touched the wrong button. So it happens sometimes with a computer. So
well, I was just saying to Stefania that when I opened my computer up today, it looked like there was something wrong with the webcam.
I had problems with my laptop here this morning at school with the hearing. I don't know, with the headphones, speakers, whatever. I don't know why. Okay.
Yeah, well, so sometimes it's the drivers, and if there's an update, if there's a Windows update, and I think that's what had happened to me is this morning the webcam didn't work, but there must have been some sort of update because it's the computer's found the webcam again. So that's good. So
you were talking about pets. I see.
Do you have a pet? Do you have a?
I had 2 cats. One was stolen because she used to work on the roof, and my neighbor didn't like her, so he brought her, and I don't know what.
Oh, good Lord!
What did to her? And the other lived for 15 years at home. We loved him.
What about Christina? How are you? Hello.
Hi, Christina.
Microphone.
Yeah, microphone.
Hello, everybody. I'm fine, thank you. I hope the same for all of you. And I'm sorry, but I'm late today.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Just arrived.
I think we're all late and tired and phased and stuff, so it's okay. Do you have any pets?
Oh yes, I have. I have 4 female cats, and all of them I've found them in a difficult situation. Very, very difficult. But they survived. Actually, I didn't want to have pets because I live in an apartment. But the story ran like this. So now I have 4 female cats. But when I was young, I used to have dogs. Because I lived in a house with a very large space, so I always had dogs. But
so which do you prefer? Are you a cat person or a dog person?
I think both of them, because pets are wonderful, but they also have a very good power. And I think that 2 days ago, I read an article from a newspaper about a story of a dog in Ukraine. And this dog, I don't know if you have read about it. This dog was really very, very afraid about the bombs and the rumors, you know.
The noises, the noise.
The big noises. because animals are not used about this strange sound. So he was like paralyzed. He stopped in the center of the road, and he or it didn't move in any way. So his owner first tried to pull it, but in the end he embraced it and tried to talk to it and calm. And in the end they reached the house because they were under the attack. So remaining in the road, it was really very, very dangerous. And for me, it was so an interesting article, because they discuss how strange is this situation also for the animals, because for them an earthquake or a natural disaster, they can survive because it lasts just for a very short period. But remaining under stress for a long period, they behave in an incomprehensible way. For instance, this dog remained paralyzed.
I mean, I think sometimes some people react like that too. It's like it's a sort of a reaction to an extremely stressful situation. Well, yes, that certainly is a stressful situation. Okay. Now I've just realized the register.
The
register, because I never know which link it is. We've got
Gordon. Excuse me. Yeah, I only wanted to tell you hello, everybody. And sorry,
you're in the car.
Yeah, I'm in a car, and I have to reach my home because I had I have an appointment, a visit. So I only can participate in this way till I reach home. I'm sorry, but I can listen to you and perhaps talk, but not do exercises.
Whatever you do, though, don't get distracted.
No, I'm not driving in this moment, but okay, I'm going to drive home, so I can listen to you and talk without. I switched the video off, the camera off. If it's okay for you.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. And see you later.
Okay, see you later.
I hope to reach home quickly. Bye.
Okay, bye. And I think Valentina's also in the car. So I can. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Okay, hello, Valentina. No, we can't hear you. No, we can't hear you. Connecting to audio, it says. I'm not sure what's happening there. It might be the signal. Anyway, okay, so this is fine. Thank you, Christina, for the register. Now let me just save this, and I need to export it, and I will put it on the chat. Okay, so this is going there. Okay. I've just changed my glasses for no, you can't hear me anymore. No, I can't hear Steffi, I can't hear you. You got your microphone muted.
No, stavo dicendo a Valentina che non si sente.
Okay. Okay. No, Valentina, we can't hear you. Okay, now let me just okay, yeah, I just changed my glasses, and they are they're supposed to be for working at a computer, but the problem is I don't think they're quite right yet, because I have to, I'm sort of going like this. It's just weird. So here we go. Let's see if I can put this on the chat.
Progressivi, Gordon. How do you call progressivi?
It's just, these are the thing with them. The thing with the progressives, the ones I usually wear are for close and for distance. But these are specific for working at middle distances and on the computer. What is that?
Now I hear you. Do you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, finally. Okay.
Yeah,
it's the time to get back home.
Yeah, the only thing is the sound quality is not fantastic.
I'm driving, you know.
Well, you shouldn't be on the video call, because we don't.
Okay.
No. In the sense that it's because it causes it's a distraction for you.
I know what you mean. That is illegal. I mean.
Well, yeah. Also.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But I don't look at you. Don't worry. I just hear.
Just remember though, Valentina, it is being recorded, and it is out on the web. Okay. So maybe you want to listen to the audio, switch the video off. Okay.
Yes.
Listen to the audio.
I stop and I try to switch the video.
Okay. Right. Because I think that way.
Please. Okay.
I think we need to be sensible here.
So, how could I do? Disattiva video. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Right. The other thing is, I don't know if you're able to mute your phone, mute the mic when you're not using it, because there's a lot of interference in the background. Okay. But anyway, okay. So everybody okay now? Yes. So I can't hear Steffi, but I can see her saying something. Okay, right.
No, I don't talk when I don't have to, because
it's okay. It's okay.
better not to talk when you have to.
Okay.
Go on with the lessons, better to listen to you.
Okay. Right now, I'm just thinking about what, because we saw last time we had a look at some paintings, I think. This time we're just going to do some talking and speaking exercises. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to share my screen and let's see. Okay, so which one is it? It's all of this one. Sure. And I'm going to put this on to full screen, hopefully. Okay, well, why is that? What's happened here? Can you see my screen here?
Yes. Okay,
right, now where did that go? Right, okay, yeah, because it disappears. Zoom, I still cannot get used to Zoom. It's just weird. Right, okay, so what I've got is we've got some stuff, some different exercises, but this is actually a writing task. Now, we're not going to write in this lesson, okay? But what I thought we could do is we could actually use it to talk as a talking topic, yeah, because maybe talking about it would help you sort of pick up, let's say, decide on the vocabulary that you want to use and the sorts of ideas that you might want to there it is, okay, sort of put together as if you were going to write this. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to spend a couple of minutes just putting down some ideas, okay? We're not writing, okay, but this is just let's say a brainstorm, a mind map of some let's say topics. In the exam, you would have to write around about 250 words, okay? which is, it's about 2/3 of a page, something like that. Depends on how big you write and how much space you leave. But so I'll give you a few minutes just to look at this. So we're talking about people, we're talking about young people deciding to go into education or go to work. What factors affect this decision? And here it says in your country, remembering that this is an international context. So you can refer to here. To what extent has the proportion of young people choosing to go straight into work changed in your country? To what extent over, let's say, over the last 20 years, over the last 30 years, something like that? What developments in society have influenced the change? So in other words, what has happened such that people are now thinking about going in one or the other direction? So the key thing here is, if you are preparing a text on this, you're preparing some writing. First of all, it's a sandwich, it's a burger, okay? You've got the top and the bottom, and then you've got the meat in the middle with some cheese and all sorts of other stuff, okay? So it's like a burger, yeah? So you've got a beginning, an introduction, and a summary, okay? So you need to remember to introduce and then summarize, okay? And then your ideas you develop in 2 or 3 paragraphs in the middle part, okay? Oh, excuse me. So what sort of things that what sort of things you might use, or that you might need to be aware of, is how to link the ideas together as if they're a chain. So it's not just like bullet points. Yeah, you have to sort of describe, and you should make an effort to answer these, let's say, these 3 questions. Now, you can look at it the other way. These 3 questions actually help you structure your argument, okay, or what you want to say, because they remind you of maybe things that you want to say, okay? So you can use this to help you, okay? But I'll give you a few minutes just to put down some ideas, and then we'll discuss this as a talking topic rather than as a writing task, okay?
Excuse me, Gordon, I couldn't read, obviously. I just ask, is it totally computer-based? I mean, do we have to write in paper or in the keyboard?
That depends on your choice of the exam.
Okay.
Because there are, if I remember correctly, you have when you book the exam, you have a choice of doing it as a paper-based or a computer-based.
Okay, because I ask it because if you have to write maximum of 250 words, if you write into the keyboard, maybe it stops when they are 250.
To be honest with
if you are writing in the paper, you don't know how many words.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think that there is a hard limit on the computer-based one. So I suspect that you will be able to write a lot more than 260 words. Okay.
Okay.
If you're doing it on paper, then you need to be aware of approximately. Okay. No, it's not. It's not. Let's say it's not atom precision.
Okay.
Nanometric precision, but you need to know approximately how many words on average you would do per line. Okay.
Okay. So I mean, it's not mandatory that if you write like 255 words, you can pass the exam. It's not like
no.
155. You are.
Okay. The way it works is this. The way it works is this, that if you write under 220, you haven't written enough.
Okay.
Okay. If you write between 220 and 260, that's fine. Okay.
Okay.
If you write more than 260, and some people for some reason do this, you're actually wasting time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But is it a problem properly? Can they say, okay, you didn't pass the exam because you wrote 270 words?
No. Valentina, it's a practical problem in the sense that if you still have other tasks to do, other questions to answer.
But I mean, it's worse for me and stop.
Yeah. You're just taking time away from that.
Yeah. Okay, it's worse for me, but I can pass the exam. I mean, this is the
Okay.
the question. Okay. Excuse me, Gordon, did you attach the file or not?
Yes. I will do that again.
Okay, because I didn't have time to read. So
just Excuse me. Okay, how's everybody doing? Everybody okay? Yeah. Beatrice?
Okay, didn't write a lot, but actually
No. Well, as I say, the idea was not that you actually write the stuff. It was just to put down some ideas.
Some ideas, yes, across the world. Okay, all the young people have to face this big decision conflict. And in Italy, in my country, the main factors that affect this decision will be very different. It can vary from region to region, and it will be very different actually.
Okay. So, could you say a bit more about that? When you say it varies from, it depends on where you are in the country.
Yes, when you are, yes, from the south to the north, for example, where you live in the mountain, in the city.
Okay, so, but hold on a minute. Okay, can you tell me what these factors are? Because it does say what factors affect this decision.
Yes, because probably if in that specific area, you can find a lot of farms, a lot of industry, a lot of you can go straight to the work. Young people, this probably decide to go straight to work.
Straight into work, okay.
Into work, yes. And do you know what? I think about Lake Garda. There are so many touristic places, and young
places, yeah.
And young people probably prefer to work over there in a touristic, how can I say, in a touristic area instead of keeping on studying, keeping on.
Yeah, sort of continuing.
Probably because of the family has got their own a hotel or touristic structure. They want to follow the father's footprint, footsteps, right? And this for that is very personal. It's very different. And if you go to a place with no touristic places.
Okay, sorry, but Beatrice, I'm going to interrupt you just one second here. Touristic, we don't use. It's tourist.
Tourist. Yes.
Okay, sorry. No, it's I know because I hear it quite a bit, but we don't use it. It's we talk about a tourist area, or an area of high tourism or something like that. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Another problem. Now I cannot enter via PC, and I don't know why. Maybe because I'm just connected, so I cannot do both, or
probably
because I don't want to work via smartphone. I don't like it, but I'm trying to.
Okay, well, Valentina, go out and come back in with the computer.
So I try to switch off.
The easiest way of doing it.
Yes, but then you have to reattach
off
again. Okay, but then you have to reattach the file.
That's okay. That's a minor thing. Okay, yeah. Stefania, what would you say?
I think that lately more and more young people have chosen and still choose to go to work, to continue to work, because there is a strong need of money. As for example, they tend to want to have some trendy clothes, for example, some techno devices that cost a lot, that are pricey, and so the trend, I think, is to choose work rather than going on with the university studies. But in some areas, we can, as Beatrice said, in some areas of Italy, maybe in the north of Italy, I think about, for example, university in Milan, but not only in Lombardy, in Lombardy, let's say Lombardy, or Bologna. I remember Bologna is a very good university, and Padua and Venice. They are very good universities. So some students, if they have to choose to continue, they prefer choosing some important, some very well structured universities. But the tendency is to choose work, I think.
Okay, if there's an opportunity. Okay. Do you think that this depends also on social background?
Yes, I think it has a good importance for making this decision. Yeah. For example, if I have a professor's daughter or a son, maybe I would go home with the studies because I'm encouraged by my family, and so we follow.
You're following the footsteps. Yes.
Yeah, in the footsteps of our family sometimes, because it gives us prestige, but not only because we are convinced that studying is a very good way to go on with the life, and also to find maybe a better job.
Yeah. Well, okay. No, that's good. Christina, what would you say? What do you think?
Well, I agree with them, and I think that also depends on the study that you have chosen. For instance, if you have attended a technical school, sometimes for you it is more easy to find a job related to the skills that you have improved in the school. In other situation, it is better to continue and go to university, because some schools not let you find just directly to the work or the job. But also depends on how can I say, the influences from your parents or your relatives, directly or not, and they can give you a certain idea of what you want to choose, because to tell you the truth, when you are, for instance, 18 years old or 19 years old, it's so difficult to have a clear idea of what you really want to do when you are adult, or you are already adult, but it's not so easy. So I think that there are many different circumstances that can affect you and your decision. But you have also to remember that our life is so how can I say, unpredictable, and sometimes you can find a job and then you can decide to change and come back to study, or other way. And sometimes it is also possible to make the both decisions. For instance, you can find a job and in the same way you can continue to study.
Yeah, so sometimes I mean, I've come across a couple of situations where young people have managed to find a job, but the let's say the place where they work has insisted that they attend college once a day a week or 2 days a month or something like that. So I think that does depend on the work, I think, because these companies were actually one was a mechatronic company down near Bologna, and they took on quite a lot of young people, but the management was also quite young as well, and so they saw this as a way of training people, essentially. So yeah, I think it does depend on what your situation is. Sometimes you manage to get lucky and get both. Okay. And okay, and Barbara, what would you say? Microphone.
Sorry.
No,
Most
it's
important
okay.
is the family background, and because okay, when your parents are graduated or have a job that requires a graduation, for instance, you may be encouraged to do so, and because it also concerns the family expectation and also the teenagers' expectation.
Yeah.
They usually reflect that many times. And also, okay, but also the school results may be important.
Yeah. No, I think it's I mean, it's a very interesting topic, I think, because of course it can also reflect your school experience, because if you happen to be in the situation where there's that teacher who manages to wake you up, and so you think, oh yeah, this is something I'd like to find out more about. Or, as quite often happens, it's like, oh, good Lord, no, I don't want any more study. Yeah.
And besides that, what has who said that if they have an activity, they may be maybe wanting to follow that activity.
Yes.
Such a hotel, a restaurant, or whatever.
Yeah.
But maybe in that case, they would also have chosen a particular high school.
Okay. Yeah, like a more like a trade like a trade type school.
For example, if they have their parents have a restaurant, they may have chosen l'alberghiero.
Yeah.
Rather than il liceo classico, for instance. It may depend on their level at school, but also on their family.
Yeah, what the expectations are. Yeah. Okay, no, that's good. Okay, so I see there's a couple of people just come in now. Having said that, Sandra's just disappeared. No,
sorry,
no. I can see the top of your head. I can see the top of you. There you go. Okay. Christina's always. I don't know. She's always top of her head. Okay, that's maybe a little bit better. And we've got Maria has just joined as well. Hi, Maria. Hi. Okay. Okay, so I'll tell you what, for those of you who've just come in, I think this is about the 5th time I've done this today. Okay. It should be coming through now.
You have to attach all the day long.
Yeah. I should get a Russian to make me a bot or something, so it just does this. Anyway, yeah. Okay. So what we're doing is we're looking at this task, which is it's actually a writing task. Okay, but the idea is to just use it as a topic for discussion, bearing in mind how you would actually handle a writing task in the exam, and that is that you have a limit of words, but you have a structure to it. Okay, so we'd have an introduction, then you have to answer these questions. Okay, but in a way, this is useful because it helps you decide what you need to say. Okay, so if I ask, sort of Valentina's sort of been listening to this a little bit more because she started in the car, now she's at home. What do you think the proportion of, or do you know if the proportion of young people choosing to go into work or choosing to continue with studies, do you think it's changed over time, or is it sort of relatively? And this is the Italian context, because, for example, in the UK, it's changed a lot compared to when I went through this, but that was back in days of the dinosaurs. So,
well, it depends from which time do you consider.
Depends on. Depends on. Okay. Yeah.
Which period of time do you consider? Because if you consider like the last 20 years, maybe I could say in the last period, people prefer to go to work because they realize that to study too much in Italy is not so good, because they never enter work environment.
Okay.
While maybe 50 years ago, they were thinking that studying was better because you could reach better positions in jobs.
Sort of like social mobility.
Yes, but I mean that this kind of question is related to which period do you consider? Because
you have to. So again, this is the thing. It's up to you to set the parameters. So you could, you could say, you could actually say, well, here we're just talking in the task. You would actually write, and you say that it's changed over the years for whatever reason. So
I could write, it depends from the length of the period you consider, because if you consider a short, I cannot hear.
There's a lag. Joan.
Okay, could you repeat?
Okay, it was just, it depends on, always depends on. Yeah, okay. And Steffi is.
Yes.
When you say it depends from, when you say it depends. When you say it depends from the point of view.
No. It depends. No. Never in English. It's always depends on. Perché quella è la traduzione italiana.
Okay.
Dipende da. Okay. No, it's always depends on. Yeah. Steffi.
No, I would like to ask you. How could we start a writing task like this? How could we start?
That is a very good question, Stefania. How would you start?
I don't know. Yes, apart from doing the mind map and to put down some ideas, how could I start?
Okay, so I think, I mean, okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to. I think
maybe to draw back to some to a phrase or to something that is there. But I would like to know your opinion.
You would start with something fairly general. So it's like leaving school is an important point in a young person's life, and at this point they have to make a big decision, which is whether to continue in education or whether to try and find a job.
A sort of paraphrasing.
You're sort of paraphrasing and setting the scene. Okay. Yeah. Because the thing is, what you don't want to do is you don't want to go straight into the
into the answers to the questions.
Yeah, it's the hamburger thing. Yeah, you've got a bit of an introduction and some stuff in the middle, and then you've got the summary at the end. Okay. Yeah.
For instance, some minutes ago, I tried to put down an introduction. And I started like this. Is it better? I started with a question. Is it better to start working immediately or go to university and continue your studies? Question mark.
Yeah.
This is the doubt, or the main doubt, the main important question that afflicts anyone who attends the last year of high school.
Okay, I wouldn't use the word afflict, simply because that would imply some sort of disease.
But it is.
I know it is, even figuratively, but it is a rather, yeah, it's something that
concern.
Yeah, a concern or a problem, or let's say a question, question about life, etc. Okay.
I was thinking of Shakespeare.
You were thinking. You were thinking
of Shakespeare,
or about.
About Shakespeare, like this is the question: to study or not to study.
To be or not to be.
There you go. You see, you've got your introduction: to study or not to study. That is the question.
That's the question. Yeah.
Whether it is nobler in the heart to go and find a job, or suffer
and fighting
suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous books. I don't know. Okay, now that's yeah. You can play with this stuff, yeah. Okay. What about changes in society? Do you think there have been changes in society which have occurred over the last, let's say, last 20 years or so, or the last 30 years? Does anybody want to, which influenced this? This choice? Do you think?
Of course, the student lodge marketing, a market maybe. I mean, all the landlords that have a house and wants to rent to students. If there is a big movement of students in some cities, this kind of people can become very, very rich because they have a house and they want to do to.
I wouldn't use the word very. I wouldn't use the terms very, very. If you happen to have a lot of houses to
not
rent.
rich, yes. Okay. Okay, but I mean that the market of houses or lodging for students is something that changed very much in the last 30 years, because many years ago people weren't studying so much at the university, so they weren't moving from home.
Okay, I think yeah, I think, sorry to interrupt, Valentina, I think that's a very Italian thing, which is changing.
Yeah, because in Italy, when you go out from your house is because you are going to study abroad or in another city, while in other countries you go because you go when you're 18, you go.
Yeah.
But in Italy is very different. Is okay, and you know already.
Well, yeah. Well, so, I'm just thinking about our situation. I mean, my let's say my personal experience was, it's actually like a rite of passage at least it was, maybe I think it still is. 18, 19, you leave home, you go to university, you go away to university, and it could be the other end of the country. I did read that more students in the UK are choosing to study in their home cities now, for economic reasons, of course. Okay, but at the same time, I think in Italy, more students are looking beyond their local universities, and they're sort of they're considering, they're considering places which are a little bit further afield than maybe what they would have done. So yeah, I think there are changes. There are definitely changes that have happened or that are happening. What about people's expectations? What about students' expectations? And also the offer, the sorts of things that people can study these days.
The expectation from university, I mean.
Well, their expectations of study, of what they will get from study.
not from or about.
Yeah, what they will get from studying.
No, but I mean, which is the correct sentence when you say which are the expectation from or of or about the preposition?
What are their expectations of studying?
Okay.
Yeah. What are their expectations? What will they get from it?
I can talk about expectation.
Okay, Maria, yeah.
Of children of 10 years old, actually, because I'm teaching in a 5th grade, so and I teach Italian and English. And sorry if you can.
Yeah, there's a lot of background noise there.
Yeah. Potete chiudere un attimo la porta? Grazie. And I gave an assignment I asked them what they would like to be in the future when we grow up. And I can say that things are not changing so much because children of doctors want to be doctor.
What a surprise, medics.
Yeah. And then there was a lot of kids that said hairstylist or influencer. One of them told that she wants to be an influencer. And then there are many farmers, but because here I live in a comune, in a place close to Verona, and that territory is very is based on agriculture.
Yeah, okay, so it's a very rural. It's a rural.
Yes, because here there are most of all. Come si dice? Non lo so. Wineries.
Yeah. Wine growing.
So
wine production, wine growing.
Wineries.
Yeah.
And here is a very remunerative job because in Veneto the wines is a good product, and so many of them wrote that they want to be farmers.
Yeah, but the thing is why and I can tell you this from talking to people in the wine industry. The wine industry, they aren't farmers. They're enologists. They will have to go to university and study enology.
Yeah, or agronomy.
Because that's the future. And in fact, I was talking to some people last year. I remember the conversation. They told me that their father, I think it was their father or their family, had a winery, and basically the father sent them to an enology university in France. Because he said this is the future. You need to, if you want to compete with the rest of the world, everyone else is doing it. It's no longer il vino del contadino.
Yes, of course. But the thing is that they didn't say things like astronaut or dancer. Or, they were very concrete, very specific, and they had aim that they could proceed.
Okay, so can I just ask you?
Maybe they are less dreamers than us, because
more realistic.
I want to be a dancer. I want to be an actress.
Okay, right. Okay, I'm going to go around the table now. Okay, we'll start. Valentina, what did you want to be when you were a kid? When you were small, what did you want to be?
A writer.
You wanted to be a writer. Okay, Barbara, what did you want to be?
I think a teacher, because I was influenced by my mother, who was a teacher.
Okay.
But in my family, relatives, aunts, uncles were mostly doctors, lawyers.
Yeah,
So
but
I had a variety of university studies.
Yeah, but the thing is that, let's say there's a certain background to it. Yeah. Emanuela, what did you want to be?
Perhaps a journalist. I also tried for a period. Then I realized perhaps it wasn't the thing I thought it should be. But no, I only tried with the local newspaper. And
I would have liked to be a journalist too, sports journalist.
Sports journalist.
Yeah, because I loved watching football. And
I think you're definitely a lady before your time, because I think now maybe you would stand a chance.
They were only men.
Absolutely.
Look at the 90º minuto, 40 years ago, only men.
Exactly.
So basically, in my case, basically I wanted to. Sorry, Barbara.
Cosa non ho capito?
No, vai.
No, nothing. And another thing, to work in a library with books.
Yeah, books.
But paper and was always a presence in my ambitions.
Paper.
Books, cards, papers, and whatever.
Okay.
Do you say chronist in English?
No.
Okay. Cronista, because I was thinking of you, that you were going to be, you would like to go to be a journalist, a
You'd like
sports
to be a journalist,
perhaps.
or a sports journalist, a sports writer.
How do you say cronista? The one that tells what happens, but people are running and now they go. How do you say?
That would be. Oh, good Lord! What are they?
Tu dici la cronaca sportiva?
Yes, il cronista.
Commentator. It's a commentator. Yeah, commentator. Let me just. Commentator. Those are the guys who tell you what's happening on the pitch, and he's passed the ball, and it's now and that. Yeah.
Someone who is telling what's happening in
it's a commentator. It's a sport. Match. In this case, it would be a sports commentator. Okay. What about you, Maria? What did you want to be when you were a kid?
When I was very young in primary school, my wish was to be a teacher.
Okay.
Then I pointed my arrow up, and I wanted to be an Italian ambassador in London.
Okay.
Then when I discovered that there was so many laws to memorize, to know, I decided, no, it's not for me.
No.
And
okay. What about you, Sandra?
Coming soon.
I wanted to be an artist.
What type of artist?
A painter.
Sorry, eh?
Yeah. A painter.
A painter. Okay. Yeah. Well, you could, but you still can paint. If you can find some time.
Well, I'm not very good at painting. That's the problem.
Abstract.
I like artistic people, like musicians and painters, sculptors.
Okay.
So I like art, let's say.
Okay. So, Christina, what about you?
I used to be not a realistic person because I would like to be a dancer or a hostess, but that was impossible.
Okay. Stefania?
So when I was a little girl, I had a diary which I wrote that I would like to be a dancer, a painter, or a teacher. And I could fulfill the third desire, and I have become a teacher.
Oh, that's good.
And I would like to be also a head teacher, but I didn't pass the last exam, so I'm a teacher, and that's all. But
No. You don't need to say that's all, because that's got nothing to do with it. It's a question of if it works for you. And I think quite often one of the things, and this is sort of linked to this topic about choosing. One of the things is, until you actually get to a certain point, you don't know, because you haven't had the experience.
You never can tell, but
Yeah, and sometimes
I'm a bit older now. I don't like studying a lot anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Beatrice?
When I was younger, let me think, a traveler, actually, yes. I didn't think about money. I didn't think, yes, just visit the world.
Just visiting stuff. Professional tourist.
Yes, right. Without money, probably, because, of course, without job, but yes, travel all around the world.
Just traveling.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. That's,
for me, it was the same. Basically, I wanted to travel and to do journalism. I thought it was a good mix between travel and right. I really love very much words. I love to work with words. They are my words. And for example, when before Barbara, no, I can't remember, said I wanted to work with books. For me, bookshop is like, for me, it's like the Alice in Wonderland, something like that.
It's more like Aladdin's cave, maybe.
Sorry?
More like Aladdin's cave, Aladino.
See.
Yeah, with all of that. Yeah. Okay. That's.
But I think the best way to travel would be also working as a food and beverage advisor.
a wine writer.
So you go all over the world to taste good foods and good beverage and say, oh, that's good. Okay, yes. And you travel all the world around.
Yeah, and you put on how many kilos of?
No, this doesn't matter. No, because if you are traveling, then you walk a lot and you visit.
No. If you're traveling, there's always taxis, and you get them on expenses.
No, because you travel for work, because you have to go to taste food and beverage. But as soon as you go traveling, then you walk and you preserve your fitness.
I'm not so sure about that. I used to travel a lot for work, and it was a disaster.
Yeah,
anyway,
but how can I say I wouldn't ever been, or I wouldn't never been a teacher? For instance, for me, I wouldn't.
Oh,
I would never.
I would.
I would never.
What's the sense that you want to communicate?
Non avrei mai voluto fare la maestra.
Okay. I never would have wanted to be a teacher. However,
Can you write it?
Yeah, I'll write it.
Yeah.
The thing is, that construction requires another piece. Let me write it. So
yeah,
I would never want to be a teacher. But okay, if you look at the construction, this is only half a phrase. Okay. If I take out the would, it works on its own. It's standalone. You take out the would and the have. I never wanted to be a teacher. Punto basta. Okay, that works on its own. If you use this type of construction, you need something else, and it's one of those constructions which is you're going in one direction, and then what comes next brings you in another direction. Okay. I would never have wanted to be a teacher, but I spent 6 months teaching small kids, blah, 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 and it was fantastic. and that was when
Is
I
that
had
hypothetical sentence that didn't realize?
Yeah.
This is my case, but in the bad sense. I mean that I would never have wanted to be a teacher, but I am.
Okay. Okay, right.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm working as.
Maybe also with the if. I wish I hadn't, or not something like that. Whether I wish I hadn't been. Only if only I.
If only I hadn't become a teacher. If only I hadn't become a teacher.
That, I think.
Okay. But in the second case, when you said you can also say, I never wanted to be, in that case, it's not hypothetical. Or you mean that
no, it's a statement. It's a statement of how you were, what you were thinking, since whenever. Yeah,
but then I
never wanted to be a teacher, but here I am. Yeah.
So then you have to add something.
Well, you can just close it off. I never wanted to be a teacher, but well, it happened. But it happened. È successo.
No, but I mean, you have to continue like the first one.
Yeah, it's sort of these things hang. These things. Okay, ciao, Beatrice. These things sort of hang. They hang around.
Bye.
Okay.
Ciao.
Yes.
Ciao. Yeah.
It's suspended, like.
Yeah. So it sort of feels incomplete.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something that we have to. You have to sort of be aware of when you do these more complicated or these more complex phrases.
I think this is the worst in English. The most difficult, I mean, for me, agree with me.
Well,
to do the hypothetical sentences in the free cases is.
Yeah, well, I remember. I remember learning this stuff in Italian, and there's
quite different.
Well, it is different, but the thing is, it's still the same in the sense that you're still trying to communicate the sense of something that could have happened but didn't.
Yes.
And and so I remember just sitting down for weeks and weeks. I would just write these things, just write them down, hypotheticals, because someone actually asked me a while ago, do people actually use that? Because I think we were doing a lesson on the conditional clauses. And someone said to me, do people actually use this? And I said, of course they do. Because it just said, but it's too complicated. Said, but of course, the problem is you don't use them all the time.
Yes.
If you think about it, you don't use them all the time, and it's the same in Italian. You don't use the.
You are also used to use.
Yeah, and so if you want to really sort of get them in, you've just got to drill them into your head. You've just got to drill them into your memory, and then when you hear people using them, there it is. You recognize it, but it's because they don't get used all the time. Yeah, you only use them in certain contexts.
Situations.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, I think that in Italian we have some verbal tenses that we never use, like il trapassato remoto that I teach to my children, but we never use.
Oh, now hold on a minute. Which one is the trapassato remoto?
Il trapassato remoto, ebbi avuto.
Okay. I'm not so sure. I think if you go further south,
I'm Sicilian. We never use
passato not too much. Maybe passato remoto, yes, in the south.
Yes, passato remoto.
It's just a little bit too far into the past, yeah.
Yes, we never use. Yeah. We hardly read it.
Yeah.
Why? Why do they have to learn it?
What about what do you feel about the conjunctive?
Yeah, we use the conjunctive condition much more than the trapassato remoto.
But the fact that it's disappearing.
Yeah, but before doing the conjunctive conditional, my pupils used the indicative form after verbs like desidero, spero, but now they use it properly because they know that they have to use it.
Yeah, it's one of the things which which then is guaranteed to make my my wife absolutely livid with rage when she hears journalists on the telegiornale, and you're expecting, or you know, presenters, and you're expecting the conjunctive, and you get an indicative.
I think that it is something that can disturb someone because you expect that, for instance, politicians or famous people can know it, and when they make the mistake, it disturbs.
Yeah. It sort of it grates on.
It sounds inappropriate. So your ear like the cat, you know.
Gordon, I realized that I think they do this deliberately, because I noticed that in some movies or series, they choose to use indicativo instead of
the indicative clause,
instead of subjunctive. And I think they choose this, they decide to do this because this seems to be, this make them seem to be closer to normal people, to young people, to basically to most of people in Italy. So they it is, and I find this really terrible, because instead of trying to teach something, they adapt their language to the to people's language.
Yeah, so it's sort of like you don't know what to cause it, what the cause and effect is.
We give you what you have, no? Instead, I think in the past, when the television started to be diffused, not diffused, spread, there was they made the effort. There was this effort to elevate people's culture, people's capability to understand. There were a lot of movies that were based on romance novels.
But there was that I don't remember the name of the guy he became famous as the teacher because a lot of people, this is back in the 50s, a lot of people couldn't even read or write, and so there was this thing with television as a
he used to teach on TV, but I can't remember the name.
Yeah, there was a series about it. Alberto Manzi. There was a series about him a couple of years ago. I think it was a Rai series, and it is very, very interesting.
But also there were movies based on I Miserabili Victor Hugo or something like that, you know. So, like in the past, people, in the medieval times, people could understand some stories without reading, because they didn't know to read. Simply looking at the painters or Assis, you know, and it was like this. A lot of people couldn't read I Miserabili, Victor Hugo, I Promessi Sposi, but they could watch
they could follow the stories.
Yeah, they could watch television and know the story.
Yeah. No, it's interesting how far things have how far things have come.
How do you say, Gordon, prendere una deriva in the meaning, in the sense of...
andare a deriva, noi diciamo.
Sì, hanno preso una deriva terribile. Non so.
Okay. 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 I've got this. I've got it. Okay. I'll put it on the chat.
Something went wrong.
They are floating to the worst.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's the phrase. Things have taken a turn for the worst.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Now, I just want to see if I can find something. See if I can find it.
Something like floating with no strength. It's like
going the wrong direction, but it is about the boat in the sea.
Yeah, but I mean that generally it's reporting.
Without a pilot that can keep the boat, but I think it's almost impossible to find it.
I mean it's something like inertial movement, you know. That is the worst.
This is a German joke. Take a turn for the worst. Okay. No, it's just that whenever I hear that phrase, I'm always reminded of this this cartoon. Okay, someone's got to go. So, ciao, Maria. Ciao.
Inertial movement.
Okay. Right. Okay. So, let's just see. Get rid of that. And okay, yeah. So I think this has been quite a useful, quite an interesting conversation, I think. So,
do you say inertial movement?
Sorry?
Inertial, like
no. What do you mean by inertial movement?
Inertial that no. Inertia is something that started and cannot stop because
no, that's inertia. That's inertia.
Inertial. So when we say deriva is something that is inertial because it's like going down, floating with no power. So it's something
there's an engine.
Okay, yeah, we have to be
senza andando allo sbando.
Okay, it's going. Okay. You'd say it's going ahead with on its own, under its own steam, or it's the momentum. Yeah.
It's like the Titanic that goes and you know, like
it goes. Okay, so.
Come dite voi?
Bye bye. See you next time.
Okay, right. So yeah, because
it's something like andare a remengo, nel senso che like that.
Maybe adrift.
No, adrift is to be basically to be going either here or there, but without any particular aim, without any particular direction. Okay.
Like aimless.
Sorry, aimless. Yes.
How did you say, Manuela?
Adrift.
Can you write it?
Okay, so you say you cast to be
adrift.
Cast adrift. Okay.
What does it mean, cast adrift?
To be cast adrift is to just be let's say
like a raft in a sea.
Like a raft in the sea, and it just goes wherever the currents take it. Okay.
That is the verb is to cast.
Yeah, it's to be cast adrift, or to cast someone or something adrift. Okay. Someone or something The SO is someone and the ST is something. Okay. So it's to cast someone or something adrift. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Okay. I'm just going to stop the share. Okay, because we don't need that anymore. Let's bring that over here and close that. Save it. Okay. Right.